Greetings from the Abyss. This is Brother Necro Cannon, and I have a video on construct programming, so it'll better help you to have more control over your constructs and your servitors. So what I will really be getting into, first thing is going to be a self-destruct code and or mechanism of what you will implement energetic wise to your construct. So just in case if there is some things that you don't like about it, or if it goes haywire, that way you will either look at it, say something, project whatever that you utilize as your trigger mechanism, and it will dissipate, like gone. So let me get into the juicy stuff without more ado. And once again, welcome to the Abyss. So to get started, as I was indicating to you, the first program that you'll want to put in is a self-destruct command. This will enable you to quickly destroy the construct, so should you happen to lose control of it, or something along the lines, just to be careful not for it to go rogue on you, which is another form of you losing control, because you can program it without understanding how to necessarily put in the actual nerve patterns, because you want to set programming up just like you have within yourself. You want to have the main computer, you want to have the energy ley lines to go throughout the actual construct to feed energy from it, as you're basically causing the brain to be the computer, and also the power generators where you want that to be centered at, as well within the solar plexus. So it's best if you have two generator areas. So just in case if you have such as a combat construct and one area gets damaged, then in that essence it will still have enough power in order to make it back to you, so that way you can make whatever repairs or the like that you're needing to do for it. So to get back, the command that you can use is a simple projected mental command or something along the lines. Just careful not to send it inadvertently after you. Just don't like send something out or have fear implemented in regards to it, because it will pick up on that fear, because it is a part of your consciousness of what you are creating for it. And so eventually over time, it does have the capacity to learn in essence, because the energy of what you're giving to it. So you want to make sure that you're definitely putting a cap on that. Do not let it learn too much, because if it becomes self-sentient and self-aware, literally you'll have another aspect of yourself walking away from you, causing havoc in a different plane. And then of course that's going to tie back to you, because that is your direct energy signature and your direct energy source. So kind of like in essence, from the thought waves of what you put out, that is what you get back, or what you manifest into the universe, and so to speak, and like that is what you get back. Same essence with you making your construct give it self-awareness. Trust me, you don't want to do that from self-experience. And then it literally goes rogue on you in that aspect. So you'll want to create there it goes. You'll want to make sure like you create a mental command, or just like a look at it, or just say like stop like that, or snap your fingers with the thought implemented for it. And that way it'll go ahead and it will dissipate. Program in the command by projecting energy into your construct from your third eye, while concentrating on the program that you're wanting to give it. Your subconscious will fill in a lot of the details just by simply thinking of what you're wanting, and then the rest of it, of what you're actually wanting to put into the program of your construct, will actually go in, because of course you're going to have all these thoughts up here of what you want, but of course deep within the subconscious is to where we're actually driven. So what you really and truly want within that construct is going to come out from your subconscious, and it'll go into there. So that's where you definitely want to make a kill command code or the likeness for it to disrupt it, just in case if there's something that goes haywire, because of course you're going to be digging something up from subconscious. You'll be putting it into the actual construct in one or more fashions, and then you'll be having that experience that you'll have to deal with. So that's another bit of road clearing work too, because sometimes if you still have those issues residing within you, which we all do, You know, we're still gradually working on those because they still spring up. You know, the older that you are, the more BS of what you have to deal with, because you have to go way back to childhood up to current time and deal with all of that mess. So, such as myself, rolling up that way, I still have a lot of work to do, you know, and I'm glad to admit that I am not perfect in any fashion. I don't know everything. The only thing of what I know is what I personally experienced and what I can give to you. Now that that's out the way, for me to go ahead and continue. But after you have put this program down as a foundation, continue sending energy into your construct while concentrating on having it act like what you want it to do. That's, you're basically programming it within the central nerve cluster here, within the brain pattern of what you want. So, such as if you want it to be a scout, if you want it to be, like I said, a combat construct, or if you're needing it to do for vampiric needs, or if you're utilizing it to work with spirits, in that essence, that's what you will actually program it to do. But yes, it says thinking of everything that you can, from movement, actions, the sounds that it will make, the appearance, etc. You want to be explicitly detailed and how you want this construct to not only look, but how you want it to act. So that way, you basically want it to be, as the saying goes, made in your image. You really want it to be made within your image, because this is a part of you, just with certain things of what you actually want that construct to do for yourself. But the final command of what you will actually give to your construct, servitor, whatever it is of what you want, is a simple execute command that will allow it to start moving and around and according to whatever that you program it to. So, such as after you're done and everything else, and then you might just utilize the word execute, and then however that you form it of what it will act like and everything else, it'll start going. Such as you might have it to be in a sense of like a mech, you know, or like how they do in animes, a walking mech, to where it might say systems online and then starts walking off. Or you might create a construct within the realm of Warhammer 40k, hail to the chaos gods in that realm. You might create, you know, a chaos space marine to go out to take care of your enemies of what you have, or to drain them, or to give, you know, different things like what Papa Nurgle would give to them, great gifts of what they would have, blessings. So, but to go ahead and continue on, like I said, this will allow the construct to start moving around in according to the program of what you give it. If you lose your construct and cannot find it, try to send out a command using your third eye to bring it back to you. Or, in a sense, you can use a sweep of your energy in regards to your construct, so that way you can find it that way, unless you actually create a link or a synaptic link with your construct, so that way you'll know where it is at all times, at all moments, because it's constantly feeding you back the data of what you're needing for it. So kind of like how your cell phone has a GPS on it, you basically put a GPS on your construct of what it would mitigate. Because most people are like, yeah, I'm going to create this and send it out. And the next thing you know, they have no idea of what their construct has done, because they got so happy in regards to creating it that they missed out major criteria, such as if you go X amount of distance from you, you will automatically come back. This is programmed within, you know, like I said, central processing system, so that way that energy will flow out through the nervous system, throughout the nervous system of your construct. Please excuse me, it's been a long day. But what you can do is you can do a solar plexus stream format function. So you can program the construct to do anything that you want, but you cannot cause the construct to do something more along the lines outside of your own conscious ability. So if your mind is limited, that's about as limited as what your construct will be. If you are very expansive within your thoughts and there are no limitations, then your construct will have no limitations within that sense. So just wind up putting a cap somewhere along the lines of it. And the only thing I can highly advise for you is don't make it self-aware. If you make it self-aware, you will have trouble. I will tell you that from personal experience. You will have something that will be causing havoc, and then you'll be like, what in the world is going on? Because you got a lot of energy coming back to you, and you're like, I didn't do anything. But yeah, the servitor that you sent out to go do that mission, that you kind of made it self-aware, so that way it can have more functionality, because you're like, yeah, I'm gonna make one with the exo armor, so that way it can learn more about my enemy. So once it's learning this information, it can go in and it can do all these things by itself. I don't have to do anything. Yeah, and then start causing havoc. Then you actually have to find it. Then you have to make sure that you remember what kill program of what you implemented in it. It's self-aware about itself, and it doesn't want to deal with that, so it tries to get away from you, or it tries to execute you. So therefore, that's the reason why the very first command of what you will give your construct is a fail-safe or a destructive command. Off top, that's the very first one. First thing of what you'll think of. So that way, afterwards, if something were to happen, like I said, you can be like, you know what? And it's gone. That energy will dissipate. It will come back to you, because you were the original focal point of creation for that energy. So that energy will come back to you. So whatever frequencies or vibrations that energy type has picked up on, it will come back to you as well. So be prepared to cause a filter for you, or you can create within your construct itself a filter in itself, so that way it's only filtering in certain energies, so that way when it comes back to you, that is exactly what you're getting is what you want. Just be mindful in programming. And so just basically you want to program it like how you would do yourself. You can give it chakra vortexes, so that way within that area you're giving it direct energy links as to what it wants to do. You're pouring energy into the heart chakra, so that way it can go ahead and have the emotional areas to pick up on that energy. If you're wanting it to have speech, you give it within the throat chakra to be able to see, to speak, communicate. You're going to have to give it a third eye chakra anyway, so that way it can go ahead and cultivate the energy. So just like kind of within the vampire set, how you manipulate chakra points, get energy from that, you use that same thing within your constructs. You just utilize that formation of energy, because you can have them to go out to take energy from said chakra points from whoever targets that you have to generate that energy. So once it comes to you, you'll drink directly from your own construct, which that also mitigates taking in unwanted energies from people directly, because that's what your construct is there for. Your construct is basically going to be the filter to take in the energy of what it is of what you want. So anything else of what will not fit inside of that construct. So when it comes back to you for feeding time, you'll just drain out exactly what it is of what you're needing. So, but and then later on in other videos I'm talking about giving your construct abilities such as shielding and the like, but that's the programming of what you will give to it. Now, mind you, if you're not able to do shielding yourself, your construct will not be able to do shielding, because if that's something that you have not taken the time to learn, then you will not be able to do it yourself. So, excuse me, he's making noise. So you will not be able to do that yourself. So just be mindful on what you've learned to do, how you're able to do it and such. Therefore, you can give it to your construct. Because unless you've actually attempted either A, to fly in the astral realm, and or take your consciousness and literally lift yourself up into the atmosphere, tapping into the 9th chakra point in the atmosphere, so that way you're at, because if people aren't aware, the 9th chakra is actually what gets you connected into into this planet's atmosphere, that allows you to pick up on vibrational frequencies at a major distance, and as well to send that out as well. That is how within the 6th set, one of the major lords was able to literally feed off of the planet, because he was tapping into that point. So another tip for you. But I do thank you guys for watching this. I know it was a little bit short, but now you have more information in regards to construct creation. You want to, like I said, make sure that you set up nerve clustering in it, so that way it's energies flowing through. You have your central unit, one central processing unit via the solar plexus. That way it's generating energy, and the secondary one will be within the main processing unit, which will be the brain area. So that way it's stimulating electricity. Because mind you, within the human body, this is where the electricity is being generated and also distributed throughout the body. The solar plexus is the connecting point of all the nerves inside of the body. So that is why it is a focal point of energy, because it is the one point that connects to it. Also, your solar plexus is technically your secondary brain. That's why it's connected there. You feel certain energies, why it's pulling, life force, vibration, whole 9 yards. That is your second brain. So in that aspect, that's why you want to give that to your construct. So that way, just in case if one thing happens, it'll have the other ability to still have enough energy, consciousness in order to make it back to you for either repairs and or to do its job. If that was what it was supposed to do, was go out to take some damage, so that way you can test it to come back and say, I was able to take this much damage. And then you can say, okay, write down calculations for it. That way the next program of what you create, or the next construct that you make, you're able to do as such. But give it a shot. And I would love to hear feedback in regards to it. I'm all open for it. The only thing that I will say is that I'm a very open-minded individual, and I will take that too. And like I said, just give me your comments. Please, as well, I will make this statement. At least let your comments be something on an intellectual nature if you're wanting more information. And like all that other negative stuff is just going to be passed over and looked at because it's unnecessary. So I'm just giving you that, guys, that as, you know, just a heads up. But I do thank you very much for your time and watching this video and learning a little bit more in regards to it. And you have to excuse me being excited. That's where I was fumbling over my words and like, because this really drives me and it gets me excited to share my knowledge. But once you get it rolling and you get it started and you apply this to your daily life or construct, or even to yourself when you're generating energy and you're programming the different points of your body in order to assimilate different bits of energy at different points in times, or if you're walking out in nature and you programmed it to where when you're when you're at a certain color point, when there's a certain amount of green around you, you automatically start drawing in earth energy. Or if you're around a multitude of different colors, then that frequency you turn yourself into, you have, you know, a black energy around you, so that way you're drawing all the spectrums of frequency into you. Just mind you to be filtering that. So that's just something to add to it. Same thing with and I'm just going to go off a little bit basis here, adding color magic to your shielding. Like the color of your shield, that of what you put on you, is really great. Just like if you're wanting to disperse, take in energy, but nullify it out, make yourself a black shield. Like for me, my shielding that I create for myself personally is like a full-blown suit of armor. Like if anybody's known, and like I might post up what Warhammer 40K, what the Space Marine armor looks like, that is the type of armor that I hold on to myself, Dreadnought armor, and it's black, like midnight black armor, so that way all vibrations will bounce off of it that I do not want, but I will draw in the vibrations of what it is, of what I need. Seeing that black is the all drawing center point of force, yes, all vibrations will come into it, but over it, if it's something that I don't want, it'll bounce off of it. If it's something that I need, it will meld into my armor, and therefore I will be able to assimilate that energy. So that's just another tip for you guys. You guys have a wonderful evening. I thank you guys once again, and I will see you on the next time that you come to the Abyss. And the one thing that I will most definitely tell you, if anything, don't ever run from your darkness. You got to embrace it. Running from your darkness is like running from your shadow. It's never going to go away. It's always there. And if you notice that once you embrace your shadow, it acts just like you. Peace.